Okay, recording. So, welcome, the mums that made it happen call. I don't even know what number we're on this week, but I'm so excited and so grateful that you guys have joined us. Thank you for taking the time out to watch this call. I hope that you find some inspiration out of the stories of the girls that I've got to speak on today's call. Myself and Emma, you know, we've built businesses, some of us out of inspiration, some of us out of desperation, but I'm sure you'll be able to relate to one of us. And, you know, it's a really exciting time to join our business at the moment. So grab your tea, grab your coffee and have a little listen. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. Like, all of us are going to touch on the product. Primarily this is a business call, but you know, we will talk about the products. The products for me is where my love for this business came. And for those that don't know me, my name's Claire Black and I've been part of the Juice Plus company since 2014. Feels like yesterday when I joined, but so much has happened in those 6 years as well. And you know, I find so much joy in coming on these calls and sharing my story every single week, because I promise you, what you hear is real. What you see on Facebook is real. Like, this business can absolutely change your life. So 2014, actually 2013, I'm going to take you back to 2013. I didn't like being a mum very much. I was really in a not great headspace mentally, really low moods, just struggling with life. We'd not long been burgled. Somebody had stolen my laptop in the burglary and taken out 16 loans in my name, had my identity stolen, and I turned 30, and this all happened in the space of like 4 or 5 weeks. And I just went into this downward spiral of, oh my God, I was just so violated. You know, you hear about these things happening, but I couldn't understand why someone would want to do that, how somebody could do that. And I really went from being this happy-go-lucky, bubbly girl to just a former shell of myself. And, you know, this went on for a long time, and it really affected how I parented. My kids, my son Dan was 6 at the time, and I had 2 stepchildren. Weekends were crazy. I'm going to be honest, I hated being a mum. I felt like no one loved me. I felt like I was doing a really bad job, and I would take my son to school and I just want someone to run me off the road because it was really miserable. And I remember seeing somebody post on Facebook about how they changed their diet and they changed their mindset. And, you know, this girl who was a friend of a friend, she was posting these posts, and she used to be so miserable. She used to be really negative. And I was like, you know, she's really changed. And, you know, I was desperate. And for me, I just thought, if I lost a little bit of weight, I'd probably feel happier in myself. Like, we're women, we do this, right? We go from the outside and then work on the inside. And so I got in touch with this girl, and she popped me in touch with another girl who I ordered some products from. And I can't even explain to you, like, changing my diet absolutely changed my life. And I know it sounds really cheesy, but I went from not wanting to get out of bed in the morning to being just getting back to me again, like getting back to how I am today. Like, this is what I used to be like, and I lost myself. And I must say, the burglary and everything happened in May 2013. I didn't start or find anything out about products until March 2014. So I had a long time of just not liking myself. So when I changed my diet and I started wanting to be around my kids again, and, you know, my husband, I remember saying to him, like, oh my God, the kids are being really well behaved. He's like, babe, they're always like this. It's you. It was you. Like, you changed. The kids didn't change. The kids have always been like this. And I just found this product that gave me back. So obviously, what do we do when we like, you know, when you go to the cinema or you go for a nice meal or you have a great night out? You absolutely share that with everybody, right? So I was just telling people, like, people are like, hey, how are you? And I'm like, oh my God, I feel amazing. Like, I literally feel amazing. I promise you, watching this call, 6 years on, I still feel like that every single day. And it's because of these products. Now, my diet was awful. The most water I would get would be bloody brushing my teeth. The most fruit I would get was in a cocktail on a Friday night. I still get my cocktails with the fruit in. But literally, I ate shit and I felt like shit. And it's only now I know the link between that and mental health. Like, I was I was like killing my mind with really bad food, and this product completely transformed that. So I'm not here to tell you like what to eat, but I'm just telling you that, you know, primarily that's what we do as a business. We have an incredible product and incredible products, and we share that with people, and that's how our business works. So, you know, 6 years on, I was able to, well, actually, so I joined the business in March 2004, April 2014. I joined after being on the products for just 3 weeks because I loved them, had no clue what I was doing. So it was great. If you're watching this, you're like, I don't know what I'm going to do. That's what I was like. The product will take you there. Don't worry about it. So I started in April 2014. By June, I was able to drop my hours at work and ditch my childcare. I was a mum who never had any time. I was working 8 till 8 most days. I was spending more time out of the house than I was in, yet I was paying for that house. I had no time freedom, and my little boy really suffered. He was 7 by the time I joined this business, and I'd never done a school run before. And I remember going part-time and picking him up from the school gates, and he was like, "Mummy, why are you here?" He used to ask me every day, "Who's picking me up?" And it used to break my heart because I couldn't afford like a full week of childcare. So I'd be like, oh, it might be Auntie Debbie today, or it might be Nanny, or it might be Daddy, or whatever. You know, I never had a solid structure for him, and he was such a confused child. And I remember picking him up, and he was like, "Mum," he was so excited. He was saying, "This is my mum," to everyone, because no one had seen me. And that night I remember putting him up to bed. Now I used to pick him up from the childminder at 6, get home at 6:30, dinner, bath, bed, boom, by 7:30, and then I was cracking on with all the stuff that I'd missed in the day. So the first time I picked him up, I put him up to bed, and I started climbing up his bunk bed, and he was like, "Mummy, what are you doing?" And I said, "I'm going to read you a bedtime story." And he was like, "Okay." So I got into bed, read the story, and when I came out, I gave him a kiss goodnight, and I came down, and fucking, you know, 6 years of telling this story, it still makes me cry. He said, "Mummy, you're just like a proper mum now," because I'd never read him a bedtime story because I didn't have the time. And I remember coming out of that room, and I felt like shit. And I remember thinking, I've been in this business 3 months, and this business has allowed me to spend proper time with my child. And I initially joined because I just wanted more money. I didn't realise I needed more time. Now, don't get me wrong, he's now nearly 14. He hates me. He's in his room. He doesn't want to see me. But I remember saying to myself, I've done this in 3 months. What can I do in 6? What can I do in a year? And I'm not going to go through my whole story now, but, you know, I left my job the following year. I've been a full-time stay-at-home mum for the last 5 years. And I've had another little boy, Bo. He's 3.5. He doesn't know any different. He only knows having mummy here. I've never missed a moment. And I've actually become, like, I went back to work when Dan was 5 months old, by the way. He was 5 months old. He was a teeny tiny baby, and I had to leave him because I had no other choice. I needed the money. And I didn't know there was another way. So I always just thought I wanted to be that corporate working mum. That was what I needed. Now I've got that time. This is the mum I've always wanted to be, and that this business allowed me to see that. Like, I never knew that. I never had the vision. I thought I just wanted more money, but I didn't know I wanted more time, and it's transformed my world. So if you're watching this and you're like how I was, I promise you this business can absolutely change your world. It blows my mind every day. I'm so grateful every single day that I've got something that allows me to be around my kids, especially the ones that want to see me, not the teenagers. But we've just bought our first house together after 10 years. Me and my husband, we've bought our dream house, paid off all our debts. We've got no debts, we've got no overheads going into our house. 2 weeks, we move in next Thursday, 28th. Beautiful 5-bedroom detached house. And I know it's not the monetary side of things, but that would never have happened with this business. You know, it can change a world. When I go back to the Christmas before I ever found a product, I was wrapping presents up from the pound shop for our kids. Like, it was really hard and really difficult. And every day I get like little reminders of what this business can do. You know, I used to drive a really shitty car, and I'm now sitting in a nice Audi Q5. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's insane. And like I said, it's not all the monetary things, but from a girl who never was ever able to buy stuff or afford stuff for herself, and constantly had to ask for things, this is another level. So I'm going to stop being a sap. I'm going to stop crying. I'm going to pass you over to one of my bestest friends in the world, and one of my bestest friends who I met through this business. Her name is Caren Wilson, but I also like to call her Mark Fowler, because she's going to tell you all about our fruit and veg products, which will transform your world. So Emma, if I could get you to unmute yourself.
Hello.
I love you. Thank you.
I'm
Thank
having
you.
serious I love you, and you made me cry. And I'm having serious hair issues today, Mum. So I'm really sorry. I've been on camera, off camera, trying to fix my mop, but you just have to deal with the fact that I haven't brushed my hair. I have 2 kids being homeschooled. They're driving me absolutely loopy. So
Oh my God.
I've got unbrushed hair, but I know that you lot won't judge me on. You make me cry every single time, and it's been amazing to watch your journey.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I wanted to share with everyone a little bit about the products. So I found out about Juice Plus 8 years ago in July. I was a new mama of a 3-month-old baby called Sienna. She had a significant dairy intolerance, and Juice Plus Complete shakes, which I saw a before and after a picture from a girl using them on Facebook. They were the only products on the market at the time that were safe for me to use while I was breastfeeding, and they were milk, dairy and wheat free. Now, literally nowadays, Sienna, my daughter's just been told by the hospital that she has to be gluten free. There's so many options out there. You can go to Starbucks and pick yourself up a gluten and dairy free lunch. You can go to Starbucks and get your, not that I'm representing Starbucks, you can go to the supermarket and buy loads of stuff. 8 years ago, being dairy free, there was like no option. So the product was like way ahead of its game 8 years ago, because there was nothing else like it. Everything else had some sort of milk in it, and the only dairy free thing I could get was soy milk, and it was rancid. But yeah, so I found these shakes. I was like blown away that I could take them. Not only that they were milk free, they're also safe for breastfeeding. And I lost 10 pounds of baby weight in 2 weeks, and I just felt unreal. So the shakes that I use are called Complete Shakes. They are made from pea and plant protein. They're amazing. You can use them for meal replacement. Some of my friends that are hairdressers use them for fast food on the go. They're great for smoothies. My kids have them for breakfast every day. They're literally like a staple in our home now. Like, we make pancakes from them, everything. We make ice cream from them, literally use them for everything. But when I first bought them 8 years ago, they were for a meal replacement for weight loss. So I lost 10 pounds of baby weight in 2 weeks, like I said, and I felt absolutely amazing. Now, the shakes come in flavors chocolate and vanilla. And the reason for this is they're the only 2 flavors that you can make naturally without having to add any like nasty. So if you buy a clean strawberry shake, I'm unfortunately afraid to tell you that it's not clean, because you have to use artificial ingredients to get the strawberry flavor. Whereas because of vanilla pod, cocoa, and basically I'm not a scientist, but you can make it without adding any nasty. So it's completely natural, and it's an amazing product. Like I said, chocolate or vanilla, great for fast food on the go, smoothies, etc., etc. So I started taking those products, started to feel amazing. My day used to start 8 years ago with a cup of tea and about 10 biscuits and 2 sugars in my tea, and I started changing up the way I started my day with having the shakes, and I just couldn't believe the difference that it made to my body. I think it made a difference massively to my mindset as well, and I think that's half the battle with us, well, especially with me, but with women, is we have a very powerful mind, and if we use it in the wrong way, we can definitely unhelp ourselves. Anyway, so like most women, I won't speak for all of us, but I think for the majority of women, once you start to feel better about your body, you start to feel better about everything. Like, when I feel good and I'm eating good, my house is tidier. When I feel comfortable in my skin, my clothes aren't all over the floor because I'm not uncomfortable trying them on. It made a massive impact on my life, and not everybody's like that, but a lot of my friends are the same. When we feel uncomfortable in our skin, everything around our world reflects the same way. So it had a massive impact on me. I'm glad that you agree, Patricia. Honestly, I feel like when I'm feeling good in my skin, my house just looks so much better. I just put a dress on and go out the door in the morning, rather than trying 7 pairs of jeans on and them all not fitting me. But this isn't just about weight loss. So what I found out about Juice Plus was that it was so much more than just a weight loss program that I'd initially bought into. So one of the main products that Juice Plus sell is called Juice Plus Premium Capsules. So it's the essence of 30 fruits and vegetables in a capsule. That's why Claire calls me Mark Fowler, because I sell fruit and veg. So basically, the government recommend that we eat between 7 to 13 portions of raw fruit and veg every day. So unless you are literally like some sort of health guru, it's almost impossible for you to do that. Not only that, but the way that our fruits and vegetables are now provided to us in the supermarkets means that the mangoes that come from Jamaica are picked long before they're ripe. They're then ripened on the way over, or maybe you even buy them before they're ripe and then put them in your fruit bowl or whatever at home, and they ripen and you eat them. But they've been picked probably like 4 to 6 weeks before you even digest them, which means they're not picked at the peak. You're not getting the most out of your fruit, and you're missing out on so many vital nutrients. So Juice Plus capsules were started from a genius idea on an aeroplane, and I'll just give you a little bit of information about it. So years ago, about 30 years ago, there was a conversation on an aeroplane where everybody was juicing at the time, you know, juicing all your fruits to make sure you get all your nutrition. And obviously vegetables and fruits are probably a lot better than what they are now. But somebody came up with the idea, what about if you could juice the fruit, take out all the water and stuff, and put it into a capsule? And the idea developed, and that's basically exactly what Juice Plus do, and that's what the premium capsules are. So I'll just break it down really simply. And like I said, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a specialist, I'm just a mum who wants her family to be healthier. So Juice Plus grow all their own fruit and vegetables. They then pick them at their peak performance. So there's no soggy strawberries, no unripe mangoes, there's no, you know, spotty bananas. They're picked at their absolute, not that there's bananas in the product, but anyway, they're picked at their absolute peak performance. They're then freeze dried, which means that all the nutrients are kept.
Has anyone else lost Emma, or is it just me? You have. Okay.
And the water was extracted. Can you hear me?
Just about, sweetheart, because it just keeps cutting out. I thought it was me, but it's you. It's not me, it's you. Sorry about that.
What, I'm cutting out?
Yeah, it's okay. I can hear you now. Keep going.
Where did I get up to?
We're just talking about freeze drying.
Okay, so they freeze dry the product, and that means that it's peak performance. When you heat something up, so if you microwave your fruit and veg, you basically kill all the nutrients, because it's such a high, heating at such a high level kills the nutrients. So they freeze dry them. They take out the fructose, which is the sugar, like the bad bit of fruit. They extract the water. Oh, my nonna just whistled to me. She's a bird. She just whistled. Hang on. Sorry, I have to do that. So they freeze dry it, take out the sugar and the water, and then they encapsulate it. And you take those into your body every single day. And it's the essence of 30 fruits and vegetables. That's the premium capsules. I probably just sounded like an absolute right weirdo, didn't I? That there was a bird whistling, and then I whistled back and I said, it's my nonna. She died a couple of years ago, and I just always think that she's whistling to me. So I'm really sorry about that. I'm not total nutter, I promise. So Juice Plus, so you take the capsule into your body and you basically get the essence of all your fruit and vegetables. It's not meant to replace what you eat. It's just meant to bridge the gap between what you do eat and what you actually, because like I said, the fruits and vegetables that we get nowadays are just not, and we're just not getting the best out of our fruits and vegetables, and we literally need that goodness for our body every single day. So then the company realized that actually if adults need this, then children need it too. And they came up with something called Healthy Starts for Families, and that is free children's fruit and veg chewies or gummies or capsules, with every adult that purchases. So it's a study with over 1 million families, and the children get a half dosage of the same fruits and vegetables and berries, but in either a chewy form if they're up to age 10, I think, or a capsule form once they're a bit older. And honestly, the magic from what they're giving these children is unreal. So my kids take the chews every single day. My youngest daughter's 3. She is the worst eater at eating vegetables in the world. My oldest daughter is amazing. She cried when there was no cauliflower on holiday, but my youngest one she doesn't like veg, and as much as I try and hide it in her pasta, she just doesn't have it. But she takes her chews every single day, and it gives me some sort of security that I know as she grows up she will eat more. She's started eating carrots, which is a miracle, but it gives me some like security. It's like just a blanket of security, I guess, that she's getting the nutrients that she needs every single day, despite the fact that she would choose donuts over vegetables every day, like most people, I guess. But she does eat loads of fruit. So 1 million families take this free product, and they ask you to fill in a questionnaire that of what benefits you see, and they calculate the results. And honestly, it's staggering. So nearly 60% of children are drinking more water, becoming more aware of their health. children that are naturally overweight and unfortunately obese, not naturally overweight, children who are overweight are naturally losing the weight from taking the product, making healthier food choices. Obviously, obesity in children isn't something that we want to see, but it is growing in the UK. It's more and more common. So the fact that children are naturally losing the weight is unreal. Having less time off school, obviously that's not quite so relevant at the moment, but they are making healthier food choices, drinking more water, taking less over-the-counter medicines, better concentration. Like, honestly, the list goes on, but it's just, and it's amazing to see the benefits in the children. My kids take them every single day. I literally rave about this product to everybody. Just giving your kids the very best parts of the fruits and vegetables every day is like a no-brainer. We also have something called vegan omega capsules. So omega is something that, you know, we've known that is beneficial to the body for years and years and years. When I was a kid, I remember my friends being fed cod liver oil, which is just vile. But omega actually comes from a plant. The fish eat the plant, and then scientists would extract the omega from the fish and make cod liver oil, and that's why people had burpee, fish breath and stuff like that. So the geniuses at Juice Plus realised that actually, why are we getting omega from the fish when we could just get it directly from the plant that the fish eat?
Lost you again. Babes, I'm losing you. Okay, I don't know if you can hear me, Ems. I'm just going to mute you. I can take over from the omega.
Yeah, ethically, not ethnically. Ethically extract any. I've got one.
Oh, your signal's terrible. Is it just me, guys? Can you just pop in the chat or just let me know? Is it me that is getting really bad signal? Oh, yeah, everyone's lost you, my sweetheart. It's okay, babes. I can finish this bit off if you want. The signal's really cutting in and out. Okay, so just going on from the omegas, like Emma said, basically what Juice Plus did is they went straight to the source of the algae, which is what the fish eat, and they've just used that to bring you omega 3, 5, 6, 7 and 9. Now listen, there are some forms of omega that we physically can't get from food alone, so we have to supplement. These products are insane. For me, omega, we did when they were launched, I was given a trial of the omega, and I'm not going to lie, I call them the invisible benefit product, because I was like, I don't really feel any different. And it was only when I stopped after I did my 4 months and I was like, oh, I'm probably not going to order these because I didn't feel any different. Oh my God, then I felt the difference. My skin, my movement, my mobility, they're amazing. They're really good. If you Google the benefits of omega, there's nothing that omega can't help you with. So low moods, anxiety, joints, skin rejuvenation, hair, insane for brain, heart and eye health as well, guys. So there's loads and loads of benefits to taking omega, and you know, we've got a product which has the blend of 5 different types. So final product, which I'm just going to quickly talk about really quickly before we get our next speakers on, because I'm quite conscious of the time, is Uplift. It's our brand new, well, it's not brand new, but it's our most recent product, which is a natural energy drink. So if you are a coffee drinker, if you suffer with fatigue, these are insane, but they're also really good for people who work out. So I don't have one in my car, but they're made from a product which is called yerba mate, and it's a really good natural product for energy. Everything inside them, there's a little bit of green tea, caffeine, I think there's lemon peel, beetroot, guava, can't remember the other ingredients off the top of my head yet, but basically you mix them up in with water. Within 10 minutes, they honestly take me from 0 to hero. They've improved all my runs every single day, and they give me a constant buzz. So if you rely on energy drinks and coffee and you're constantly chasing that crash, get yourself on an Uplift energy drink. They're insane. You don't need, I've got women who've completely given up coffee and absolutely swear by them. So I'm going to stop talking about products now. Sorry, Ems, if I didn't like match up to your level on your products, but I'm super excited. I'm going to unmute my girl Salli first, if that's okay. So Sally's been part of our company, oh bless you, you're eating, for the last 4 years. Sally's gone from being stuck on benefits and really, really ill, and the products have transformed her health, which in turn has made her be able to create an amazing business to work around her 2 girls. So, Salli, my sweet, if you wouldn't mind unmuting yourself and then just sharing your story about, how the business has changed your life and why now? Why join us now?
Thanks so much for inviting me on. It's been lovely to actually listen to your story as well, because when you hear mine's very, very similar to yours in a lot of ways. So again, my story starts back in 2013 when I was a busy mum, married with 2 kids. They were 2 and 7, and I was doing a degree full-time at university. And like you, we actually ironically got burgled in 2013, and we went through an awful lot of troubles. My health had started deteriorating because I was doing an awful lot, being a busy mum, sorry. And my health deteriorated. And in October 2013, I actually became bedridden and housebound. I've got a condition called ME, which is often known as chronic fatigue syndrome. So symptoms are chronic pain, chronic fatigue, sensory overload. You have ear, nose and throat problems. You have mouth ulcers an awful lot. You have complete lethargy. So I wasn't even able to sometimes take myself to the bathroom, or people would have to put me in the bath and help me wash my hair and things like that. I was really technically disabled. And I stayed that way for many, many months. Consequently, during that time, my marriage ended as well. So not only was I basically bedridden, but I was also became a single mum to 2 kids. We had to move out of our house, move into somewhere new. All of it very stressful. So I wanted to be nearer to my mum so that I could have the support and be nearer to school, because we were quite far out from school. So my mum obviously became my absolute rock, and I spent about a year, very much like yourself. I was actually talking to the girls last night. I said, do you remember what I was like that first year? I said, I just screamed at you. I would scream and scream until my voice was hoarse, and I'd make myself cough. And it makes you very emotional to think just how bad a mum I was back then, but I couldn't cope. I was so exhausted, and my sensory overload, they only had to be laughing and playing, and I'd be like, shut up, because I couldn't cope. And it wasn't their fault. It wasn't really my fault. It was just the situation as it was. It was too much, and I was in such a bad place. I was taking probably 20, 30 tablets a day, painkillers, neurological medication, anti-anxiety meds, antidepressants, all just to keep me functioning. And to be honest, they probably made me 10 times worse. And dinner was like chuck a pizza in the oven. It was whatever I could cope with, because I couldn't cope with very much. If anything, majoritively, my mum would come round and put something together for me. I wasn't able to bath my kids. I wasn't able to take them to school. Life wasn't nice. It was really, 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 that was definitely without question my hardest year. And I had to claim benefits because I was too sick to work, so I had no money. So I'd gone from being I aced my degree with a first class honours, and I was married, and we had 2 incomes, and I went to this. It was hard. And funnily enough, it wasn't until years later that I spotted a status came up on my memories, and it said, I wish there was a tablet that I could take that had all the goodness in it, instead of all these tablets that I take today. And I'd actually posted that before I found Juice Plus, and before I'd even heard of Juice Plus, and that's what I posted. I'll have to find it, and I'll have to send it to you. So again, like you, like Claire, I saw someone posting about how much energy she had, how much better she was feeling, and she was miserable most of the time, like me as well. I was like, whatever she is on, I need some of that. But I was skint, I had no money, but I looked at the list of all the benefits, and I thought the premium capsules is what I need. Now, I had no interest in weight loss, even though I'd gained about a stone or so. I had no interest in weight loss whatsoever. All I wanted was literally just to put a bit of goodness back in my body, because I couldn't cook, I couldn't do anything. And I thought, you know what, I take about 30 tablets a day as it is. What's another 6? Really is not making much difference. I might as well give it a go. So I stuck this first batch on a credit card, and I thought, you know what, if it's a load of rubbish, I'll add it to the thousands of pounds of debt my ex-husband has left me in. It's no big deal. But what happened was obviously not that. It wasn't a waste of money. It was the biggest single most transformative thing I've ever done for my life. And that was the catalyst that started my recovery, without question. It started off dead subtle. So first of all, I was able to stay awake a little bit longer during the day. Then I was able to stay awake. So beforehand, my eldest daughter at the time, she was 7 or 8, and she would put me to bed, help me put the little one to bed, who's now also 8 and dancing around here. She would help me put her to bed. Then she would put me to bed, and then she would take herself to bed. I wouldn't actually put my daughter to bed. Because by this point my mum had gone home, but I got to a point where I was actually able to put her to stay up later with her, watch something on telly, put her to bed, and then get myself to bed. That was priceless. Then I started thinking, okay, well, this is working. So I started tweaking my diet. I added in the shakes. I thought, right, let's do this then. Let's give it a go. And I lost a little bit of weight, but for me, it was never about the weight loss. It was about the learning what to put in my body and what difference it was making, not just to my physical health, but to my mental health. And very much like you, Claire, one day my kids turned around and it was at an event. Oh God, I was telling my story at an event and my kids were there. And they said, what's the best thing about Juice Plus? And my eldest daughter went, it gave us our mum back.
Oh God.
Oh my God. Like, yeah. And I was like, in front of a lot of people, that just sort of made me cry. But like you, it gave me my life back to be with my mum, be a good mum to my kids. And now, you know, we have the best, I'm still a single mum, 6 years down the line. And we have the best life and we have the best relationship, you know, far from perfect. They still do my head in and I still do their head in. But, you know, we are a good team now. And I know that I'm a good mum. And everybody says, oh, you're a really good mum. But I wasn't always like that. So the products completely transformed my life. And as someone with ME, I was sharing this in a group that I'd set up years ago for support with ME, fellow ME sufferers. And I got a lot of backlash for sharing it in there because a lot of people would say, oh, you're selling it and it's a scam and all of that. And at the time, I wasn't even selling it. I was like, look, mate, I was just trying to share something with you that could work, you know. But my feeling was, I've got a duty that if there is something out there that can make that much of a difference to my health, it hasn't cured me. I've still got ME and I still have bad days, you know, I still have bad weeks and months sometimes. But what I do know is that the second I have that bad time, I double up on my capsules. I crack down on my nutrition again, and it helps me get through it faster. So there's no point in suffering when you don't need to suffer needlessly. Yes, suffer the bits that you can't control and you can't fix, but don't suffer the bits that you can. So I joined the business in 2015 in March as a single mum to this one and my other one. And I was on benefits at the time. And really all I was thinking is, if I could sell a few of these, it'd pay for my own products because, you know, it's, you know, quite a bit of money per month when you haven't got any money. So if I could sell enough products to earn enough to pay for my own products, winning, you know. So I joined, I didn't know nothing about the business plan. I didn't know nothing about the bonuses and all the positions that you get to. And I started the business and I earned £220 in my first 2 weeks. And I was like, Mum, I've earned 220 quid. Like, oh, that's well good. And she was like, sounds like a pyramid scheme, you know, make sure you got it, make sure it hits your bank before you get too excited. And I was like, oh, okay. So there, of course, it hit my bank. And then the next month I earned £750. And then the next month I earned £1,400. And it just went up and up and up. So I realised very quickly in the business that this was something that I was going to be good at and that I could do if I was passionate about it. And I went to an event, and funnily enough, Emma, who you just heard telling about the products, was on the stage at the time. And I heard her story as a single mum. And of course, as a single mum, just at the beginning of my journey, I resonated so much with what Emma said about just being able to afford to buy a new kettle and a new toaster and things like that. I was like, okay, if she could do it, I could do it. And I went home and I just put my head down and I got passionate and I was excited. And then the kids got involved. You know, we did vision boards and...
The Chewies are the best.
I don't know if you could hear that, but there's the Chewies. Like, I got the kids on the Chewies. What's your favourite flavour?
The purple one.
The purple ones are her favourite. She was also a very, very fussy eater when she was 2. I would actually put her in a different room to eat because I couldn't bear to sit and watch her eat the same crap that I'd stick in front of her. She would literally eat pasta and sweet corn all the time. You still enjoy it occasionally, don't you? But since being on the chewables, she then started making healthier choices. She started being more interested in what I'm eating. She now eats all the fruits, all the vegetables, all the things that I put in front of her, majoritively, you know.
Kira's different.
My other ones, she doesn't eat fruit. So yeah, it's changed all of our lives. But the business, when I got my head down and I really worked hard, I started 2015 on benefits. 2015 on benefits without a penny to my name in the January. And I worked so hard that January 2016, just 12 months later, I'd hit QNMD and I had reconfirmed 3 times, which will mean nothing to you if you're not in the business, but it comes with a £3,600 bonus on top of your commission. So my paycheck that month was the best part of £6,000 just from this business. And I'd done it all from home, all around my kids, all around my illness. If I needed a day off, I sat down and I sat on the sofa and I worked. If I needed to sort my kids out, I could it was just the only business that I've actually ever been able to do that has fit around what I need. I can still take my kids to school. I can still be a stay-at-home mum all the time. I'm always here for them as a single parent, and if I get sick, if I do get a rundown, I can still do this business. In fact, I've had some of my best months, the months where I'm not able to do anything else but sit on my phone. So, it's changed my life. And we've been to Disneyland. We're in a much nicer house now. I've got my convertible car that I always wanted. It's not just changed our lives, but it's actually changed everything in our lives. So, I have never. Oh, and why now? Well, I'll be honest, I took about a year out of the business over the last year because I needed to take a break. I'd had some negativity in my life and I felt like I'd left this business ticking over in the background and it still was earning me a few £100 a month without me even doing anything. Without doing anything, it was still earning me hundreds of pounds a month. But I wasn't putting my heart and soul into it because I needed a break for various personal reasons. But then since lockdown, I swear to God, I have never seen growth like it. Never seen anything like it at the moment. The growth in the company, it's quadrupling. Like people's paychecks are quadrupling in 1 month. So I'm definitely getting on board with that because let's not waste this time. It's an incredible opportunity and there's never been a better time to join. So I hope that inspires someone.
You've inspired me. Like that. I had to turn my sound off so I could blow my nose because I was crying. My teeth together. Thank you for that. And I just want to touch on something you said. You said, when you were really ill, you had your group and you're like, I just knew people needed this. And listen, guys, this is what you've heard so far. And I know Paula's going to share her story in a second. These products, people need them and people need them more than ever right now. We have got the biggest health pandemic happening in our lives, and I'm not saying this is not a cure or anything, but too many people were waiting to get sick before they done anything about it. Right now people are like, shit, I need to do something about it. And that's what we're here for. We've got the solution to 2 of the world's biggest problems. We can help people get healthy and we can help people with their financial situation. And it makes I'm literally like, ugh! My passion for it is because your story, Salli, is so inspirational. There's not many businesses where if you with your illness, you wouldn't have been able to hold down a job because you can't get there.
This is one of the biggest factors for me. One of the biggest factors was, how am I going to hold down a job where I have to get up in the morning, take the kids to school, travel into work, especially in the cold weather, because cold weather and me don't mix very well. I get very ill. How am I going to then do a full day's day at work, then come home, then cook the dinner, then get the kids bathed, then put them to bed, then get up and do it the next day? Physically, my body doesn't allow for that because I've got an underlying condition. And no matter how healthy I am, I cannot do everything and be everywhere all the time. I will break. So this is a job that I don't have to get up. I get up and take the kids to school in the morning. I come home and sit down. I get on with my day. If I need to have an hour's rest, I'll go and lay on the sofa. If I need to go and have a little walk and clear my head, I'll go and have a little walk and clear my head. It fits around everything. My kids, my life, my illness, everything. So there's nothing else that I'd want to do.
Yeah, amazing. I've loved that. I've actually, just before I get pulled on, I've just had a question privately just saying what fruits and vegetables are in our capsules. We've got a variety of 30 raw fruits, veggies and berries. There's fruits and veg in there that you can't get from the supermarket. I mean, I haven't seen a bilberry, an elderberry, an acreola cherry. There's so many different types which are in our capsules. So what I will do, to my lady who has just messaged me, I'm going to screenshot our ingredients and I'll send you all the information to reel it off. So thank you, Salli, again. That was amazing. Thank you for making
You're
me cry.
welcome.
Always good to have a little cry on a Tuesday morning. Now, I want to just do a really tiny little intro for Paula. So we're going to do a delayed celebration. Yesterday, Paula celebrated 8 years in our business. So congratulations, my darling. Fantastic. I'm super excited to get you on. You're one of my favourite people in our business. I'm so grateful to have you in my life. And Paula's story is one of, you know, you've had a really shitty, rocky time for quite a few years, bad marriage, mum to 3 girls, very stressful job, and you've been able to really flip your world around again from finding an amazing product and business. So if you wouldn't mind, please just sharing your story, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, thank you, Claire. Thank you for inviting me on. And hi, everyone. So yeah, I'm a bit older than you guys, and really, that just means I've obviously just had a few more years life experience. But going back, I always was entrepreneurial. I was a beauty therapist to begin with, straight from college. Within a short time, I set up my own business doing beauty therapy. I had my eldest daughter at age 24 and kind of fell out of love with the beauty therapy world. So I went into my family business, which was elderly care. I actually then set up what was at the time, it was the biggest boom for elderly people and disabled people staying in their own homes and needing carers to stay in their own homes. So that was in 1992. Coincidentally, our products were developed in 1993, and had anybody have shared that with me then, that's one of my biggest regrets in life, is that nobody shared with me about Juice Plus products or network marketing. I had no clue what it was. I would have had a very different life. My kids would have had a very different life. But hey ho, it finally found me, thank goodness, in 2012. But so I had 20 years in my business of elderly care that gave me a huge amount of satisfaction. Obviously, I was dealing with very vulnerable people, but I ran a team, massive team of carers. We did a lot of work in my local authority, and it was a successful business, very successful. It gave me lots of financial income at the time, at times I should say, because it didn't in the end, but I had no time freedom whatsoever with that business. And over the years, I was married, and my marriage was toxic. I should never have got married, and I should never have stayed around that long, but you do. You know, I had 3 girls and I was literally trying to be Superwoman, literally trying to make my marriage work, be the best mum, run a very successful business, manage all of that was going on. But I was actually drowning. Without a doubt. There's no, you know, I was that mum who would scream at my kids because my stress levels were right there. Any little thing would tip me over. Driving away from the office on a Friday night, I'd be just in floods of tears of stress, and it was no way to live. And actually, as time was going on, I was coming to realize I'm trying to show 3 girls that this is the way that you should live your life. And I don't know when the penny dropped or why the penny dropped, but it did. And I had to get rid of all the stress in my life. So I actually kicked my ex-husband out, and I walked away from my business husband left in 2010, and I walked away from a business in 2011 because I'd had a breast cancer scare and a cervical cancer scare. My body was absolutely just on a complete downward spiral of ill health. Just everything was falling apart. I was taking medication for my IBS symptoms that I'd suffered with since I was a teenager. that was out of control. I was taking antidepressants. I was taking tablets to help me sleep at night, because I didn't sleep at night, but as soon as I sat down on the sofa in the evening, I would be asleep. So my evenings were a waste, and then didn't sleep in the nighttime. Yeah, my eating patterns were erratic. I had a dieter's mentality. So, I'd eat all sorts of dieting stuff. I was addicted to Diet Coke because I had no clue that there was anything wrong with that. Like most people, I just thought, oh, it's Diet Coke. It's diet. And then when caffeine-free Diet Coke came out, I was addicted to that. It's just crazy now to think that's how I used to live my life, but I didn't know any better. So 2011, I oh, sorry. Can you still hear me okay? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just about, yeah.
Okay, so in 2011, I as I say, I walked away from my business with a humongous amount of debt, and in early 2012, January, my parents were traveling in America, and a lady introduced the products to my mum. Now, my mum's type 2 diabetic. She had been diagnosed many years by this point, rife in my mum's family. So she was very aware of health and very aware of the concept of our capsules are very safe for diabetics, because, like you've heard, in the drying process, the sugar is withdrawn with the fibre and water. So you're left with the pure phytonutrients that diabetics actually need, but they can't get because they can't eat too much fruit. So my mum and dad started taking them in January 2012, and absolutely loved them. My mum's results were fantastic, and they've gone on 8 years later, and they're still in incredible health, and well into the 70s, both of them now. So that's fantastic. We're forever grateful. If that's all that ever happened, I'd be so grateful. But my mum, so she was away, and she sent me some capsules home and said, right, take them. You're in I was very poorly, in such a bad way. Brain fog was horrendous. As I say, taking all this medication, crying all the time, and just so ill all the time. My skin was dreadful. So I took them purely because my mum had bought them for me, purely because she told me to take them. I had no clue what they would do for me, but they just started to work. So it was fantastic, because I had no preconceived ideas, and they just got in my body and started to work as they should. So little bit by bit, I was starting to notice things. And I thought to myself, wow, it's actually working. I better find out about it, because I had no clue. I'd literally just trusted my mum. So I started to find out about it. This was in the April 2012. And as I say, like you've heard, as women, we can't, if we love something, we share it. And it definitely started to help me. And I thought to myself, right, okay, well, I'll find out, and I'll actually start making this into a little business. At the same time, I had gone back to beauty and set up as a mobile nail technician, doing mobile. And it was very difficult, because at that time, obviously, managing with my daughters, being a single mum, and we still had 5 years of real bad times coming through my divorce. It was a really nasty time. Benefits of hindsight, I can see that now, but actually, once the products were working for me, I felt physically well enough and mentally well enough and strong enough to deal with the crap that was going on. So as I say, once that mental clarity started to come back, I could deal with the problems that were happening. But going out and being a mobile nail tech, I needed to do that for income, but I was leaving my children, and that was difficult with childcare, etc., because my youngest was only 9 at the time. So fast forward a few months, and because everyone around me was seeing the difference, my customers were seeing the difference, my friends and family were physically seeing the difference in me, of those conversations were very easy to have. And whether they started taking the products to support me, that was one thing, but actually further down the line, I have still got customers today who were with my very first customers 8 years ago, are still taking the products today. They might have supported me for that first batch, but not every month since. And so, you know, that's incredible, that, you know, how many people's lives we can actually change. And again, like you've heard, the responsibility, once you have something that's so powerful and changes your life so much, it is an absolute responsibility to pass that on to other people, because all our stories are different, but we're all struggling with one thing and another. That's life. We all struggle with things. But once you know of something that can actually help people have an improved quality of life, not to mention the business and what it's done for me, very soon, 6 months, I was able to actually start organising my day how I wanted to do it. So if I didn't have childcare, you know, I actually stopped doing evenings so that I didn't have to worry about childcare, leaving my kids. In fast forward a few years later, and when my youngest daughter, who did struggle with an awful lot of issues from my breakup, she literally the year of her GCSEs, I had to homeschool her. She was home every day leading up to her exams because she just couldn't cope with school. This business allowed me to do that. You know, by then I'd actually built a summer house in my garden. I was still doing nails because I'd liked doing it. And, you know, it's not my main source of income and hasn't been for many, many years now, but it's still something I enjoy doing. But I was able to work from home around my daughter, around whatever any of my kids have needed. I have been able to work around. My eldest daughter moved to Abu Dhabi she's been there 6 years. She works for Etihad. And I can go whenever I need to go. I can go to see her. It's given me that flexibility, and to help my middle daughter financially when she's needed it, and pay off the debts. Oh my God, the debts that I was left with my previous business and my marriage, they were paid off many years ago, and I got myself back on the property ladder. And, you know, those things are just absolutely priceless. So, you know, I've only touched on a little bit, and no doubt I'll come off the call and think, oh my God, I've forgotten so many things, but it is an absolute responsibility. And this is what drives us, our passion of how we can help other people, not only helping ourselves, but oh my God, when you get messages off friends and customers who you've done that for them, helped them improve their lives, that is, oh my God, that's priceless. Nothing can actually come close to that. So living your life with this passion every day and good health. And, you know, I'm 52, don't look too bad. The wrinkles are not around, you know, so it's amazing. You know, it's amazing going into, you know, life is fantastic.
Oh, do you know what? You look bloody gorgeous. But when you said that, you know, I always think when people are telling their stories, like, oh my God, I've got another story to start. Like, I could tell you a million stories. I know we all could. We just don't have the time to do it. But this business can be for absolutely anyone. And you actually touched on something. I had to write it down so I didn't forget. But you said you didn't know any different. And I know you were talking about what you were feeding your body. It's the same with the business. And I always say what you say, you know, the only regret I have with this business is just not finding it sooner. If I could have had somebody who, because my relationship with Dan growing up, I mean, it's still not the greatest now because he's a teenager. I missed everything with him from 5 months old. If he fell over as a toddler, he would run to anyone. He wouldn't come running to me because I was never normally there. So he didn't care. Whereas if Bo falls over, it's trouble. If Bo falls over, he will just, Mummy. I never had that. And I know it's really sad, but I never had that because I was never there because I was working too much. So, you know, not knowing any different, but we now know a different way and we have to share that. And this is why these calls are so important. You know, if you're watching this and you're inspired, come and join the mission. We need you. We need people to help other people get that freedom, especially women. I'm so passionate about helping other mums because, you know, being a mum, like I said, can be quite isolating, lonely. I just felt so in a box, like that was all I was. And actually, I've been given this lifeline of, this is me. I've got my own thing and I'm doing my own stuff, but I can still be the mum that I want to be at the same time. So, Paula, thank you so much. I love listening to you talk anyway. Really inspirational. Really appreciate you coming on and taking the time. Guys, I just want to cover very loosely, like, I like to keep these calls as story-based as possible, but I'm going to touch on our compensation plan and why it's the best compensation plan out there. So you've heard a couple of us talk about, you know, the financial side of things. Like I said, the financial side of things is great. The reason it's great is because money gives you choices. I'm not saying money makes you happy. Money gives you choices. You know, Paula needs to go out to Abu Dhabi. Boom, she can fly out there without asking anybody. My biggest commute is downstairs, and that's because I can afford to stay at home. I don't have to worry about driving anywhere or paying for childcare. That's what this business can give you. Along with the commission, we get paid on absolutely everything. So whether you share one shake, whether you share 1,000 shakes, you get paid. There's no minimum sale target to make. Everything is points based, so we have certain targets where you collect a certain amount of points in a calendar month, and you can hit various cash bonuses on the way. There are £119,000 in bonuses to collect. If you're like me and you're like, come on now, this is a bit of ridiculous money, because when I joined and I got told by the lady who brought me into the business she'd earned £15,000 in a month, I was like, listen, I just want to earn 200-300 quid. You don't need to lie to me about these bonuses. These bonuses are real. One of my Christmases, we had a very, very beautiful Christmas, which was about £12,000 in 1 month, which was more money than I'd ever had in my bank account in the whole year. Still blows my mind now. So, you know, the opportunity to earn is massive. It costs just £50 to join our business, guys. £50 is something I would never even have thought about spunking on a night out, you know, on a night out with the girls, pedicure, manicure, getting your nails done, getting your hair done, getting your lashes done. You know, we throw money away on things like that. This is a real investment for you, and it costs just £50. That £50 gets you an online office. We call it the online office, which allows you to process. You get your own website for this. It allows you to process orders all around the world. We're in 27 countries right now, I think 27 or 28. The whole of Europe, UK, Ireland, America, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Dubai. We are opening out in Mexico. I think we just opened in Romania. We've got so many countries which we're breaking into. So it's exciting. Why now? The best time, like I said to you, you know, we're going through a really tough time as a world. People need to be healthy, and people need a plan B. You know, the plan A, the 9 to 5, is not as stable as people once thought. And once you know the plan B actually works like this, there isn't a better way. So I would ask you to ask yourself, you know, what can you put in, what can you invest, who can you share? If you know somebody who needs to look good, feel good, and make some money, you can absolutely do this. And if you're like me, if someone said, but would you want some more money in your life? Hell yeah, I want some more money. Hey, do you want to make yourself feel better? Absolutely. I always want to top that up. So, you know, I'm going to leave it with that. I'm just going to say to you, if you haven't got £50 to join the business right now, then you absolutely need the business. We've got the most incredible structure, the most incredible product. There's no stock to buy. There's no deliveries to make. There's no overhead. It's just you sharing a product. And like I said earlier, if you are on Facebook anyway, and you're sharing when you've watched a good film, or you're sharing when you've had a great meal, you're just doing that with our product. The difference is we're paying you Odeon and Wagamama's or Pizza Express, wherever you go. They're not paying you to do that. We're getting paid for the privilege of that. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for all those beautiful speakers. Thank you, you guys, for joining and sticking with us. Sorry, we've run over a tiny little bit. I hope to see you super soon in the team. Please make sure, if you are inspired and you would like to join us, that you get in touch with whoever added you to this call. If you get lost along the way, please feel free to message me and I can find out who you belong to, and I'll make sure we get you signed up. So thank you. Have a blessed and beautiful day, and we will see you soon. Take care.